All right, welcome back to the AFK Lounge. We are here with episode 7 with myself, Grizzly Sensei, and Mirk. What's up, bro?
What up? How's it going today?
That's good, man. Look, this is a new challenge that I saw on TikTok that it was done with some war movies today, the one I watched. Um, and I paused it and I did it myself, trying to figure out what I would keep, what I would cut. But the idea is you get 10 movies and you gotta keep 5 and cut 5 from total existence. So I figured Marvel is the best place to start because Marvel is universally loved by most people, recognized by most people. They recognize these movies. Got Civil War. I think you've got each Avenger movie on here. Infinity War. I think I see. You've got Black Panther, OG Iron Man, Thor Ragnarok, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Homecoming. So Guardians, the Galaxy. That's why I'm making you do this one, bro. Because I looked at this list and I was having a very hard time. Yeah, so the order is gonna be just keep cut, keep cut, keep cut until we get down to nothing. And I already have my idea of what I would do, but this one today is all about you. And then I think each time we keep or cut one, we just chat about it for a second and get some logic of why and go from there.
So do you want me to start any particular order, or just
Keep
not
whatever you
matter?
want first.
Okay, well, the first one I'm gonna go with keep is Spider-Man: Homecoming. I really like the newer Spider-Man movies. Growing up, I saw like Spider-Man 1 and 2 come out with Tobey Maguire, and then Spider-Man 3
Right.
as well. I think, and those were all good, but I actually enjoyed the modern ones more, just how they were written personally. So that'd be my first keep for sure out of that whole list.
Wow,
Uh,
first one out of the whole list, huh?
mhm.
Damn. Damn, so we're keeping Spidey.
Yo,
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
a
you
little
made
biased too. Spider-Man's always been my favorite Marvel
well, you made
character.
my
So
inner kid happy, but if it would have been OG Spider-Man, I for sure would have kept it first.
yeah, don't get me wrong, I love the OG series, but the modern series with Tom Holland is really good.
Yeah,
I
you enjoy
kind of
Tom
hope they
Holland.
continued it. I like how he plays Spider-Man, but I also just really like how that was written and the ones that he was in. Like I just thought it had really good writing. It was done really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the hard part, man.
Uh,
First one
first
off the list.
first cut for me is actually really easy. Just because I didn't enjoy this one. I'm gonna go with
Okay.
Thor Ragnarok. Um, I don't dislike Thor as a hero. I just didn't really care too much for how that movie was, and kind of the pacing of it as a whole. So that's an easy first cut for me.
Fun fact about Thor is Thor looked closer to me than Chris Hemsworth, and
Yeah,
that's a fact. Big red beard, bigger, chunkier man, power lifter kind of build. No six pack, no chiseled chest, just straight raw power. And he looked like he could be a guy that swing that hammer. That's the key. I don't like how they portrayed Thor in any of them. I don't like Chris Hemsworth as Thor. And when they fattened him up, he looked closer to the real Thor. Anyway, but anyway,
yeah.
I could go on a whole episode about how they fucked Thor up, but
You could have played. You
I
should
won't.
have played Thor.
I
Thor
should have.
Ragnarok. It probably would have been a lot better.
Yeah,
Probably would have been a keep for me.
I think they lost a lot of people with how they portrayed his sister too.
Yeah,
I mean, they could have done some crazy shit with her. She's supposed to be like in the comics and in, like Thor lore, like extremely powerful. And made her appearance, got clapped at the end of the movie, and that's it. It's a wrap. I mean, come on, dude. You know. Anyway, okay, so we just keep the Spider-Man cutting Thor, Ragnarok.
yep. Second keep for me is also pretty easy. I'd go Guardians for sure, especially if that's the first one. Um, I thought that was one of the
First one.
funniest Marvel movies that I'd ever seen, just in terms of like the comedy. I mean, you're obviously gonna have that with Chris Pratt as a lead in a movie like that, but it was really funny, and I liked how they did certain elements of it, like how they did the soundtracks in that series specifically. I thought that was a cool idea that they maintained throughout it. Again, writing in Guardians 1 was amazing. I thought it was great. I'd say it was the best written out of all the Guardians movies. By the way, that's my personal opinion, but that's why it's an easy keep for me. So, well,
Yeah.
Guardians for that.
You know what I liked? What I like to think about Guardians of the Galaxy, just the franchise in general, man. And this is a really off the wall take, but this is how I felt. Imagine Marvel is a casino, and you've been in this fucking casino for a week. You're having fun, but you're like tired, you know? And then you step outside for the first time in a week, and that breeze hits your face, and you're like, oh, this is refreshing. This is nice. That's how I got hit with the first Guardians movie. I was like, dude, this is what we need
Yeah,
to keep ourselves sane, because I can't take any more Iron Man, Thor, Spider Man. It just Captain America. It was just all just shoved down our throat. To me personally, I mean, I just couldn't. I started to lose interest, man. Like the first Iron Man came out, and I was hooked. Kept watching every Marvel movie since then, and I'm like, okay, okay,
I think the big part of that refreshing though is that it was just a different style. Like
yeah,
it
that's what
wasn't
I
like
meant. Yeah,
your
totally different.
normal, not like your normal Iron Man movie or Captain America movie, and it was definitely a huge shift in that regard for how it was written, and I think it was received really well for those reasons.
Newest one, the best one, Volume 3. Oh my god, when he saves his little raccoons, oh my god, dude, had me. All right, chopping block.
Okay, well, the further we go with the cuts, it's going to get harder. I think
Yeah,
for sure. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Black Panther. And that's tough because I thought it was a really good movie.
it's
Um,
fantastic. Yeah,
but I mean, what are you gonna do? You know what I
yeah. I
mean?
mean, the first Black Panther was great. And this is the OG one too. So
I just like when I look at other movies on the list, like coming up, like Civil War and Winter Soldier and stuff like that. I didn't think Black Panther quite stacked up, especially to Civil War. Again, that's just personal opinion. Appreciated the style of Civil War a lot more.
I would have kept Black Panther, but that's just my own personal thing because I thought it was unique. Just like we were talking about Guardians, it just had like a different vibe to me. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, man. But he recorded, I think, the second one, like with cancer, or was it the end of the first one? I think he had. I think he was in the second one, wasn't he?
I think so.
But just another like. There were certain elements of the movie that I didn't like being thrown down my throat either with Disney, but um, you get that sometimes. You gotta sift through that bullshit and enjoy the movie. Movies get political. That had a little bit of political vibe to it. I didn't like, but the movie overall was fucking great. I loved it. Um, okay,
Yeah.
so we've kept Spider Man, we've kept Guardians, we've said goodbye to Thor and Black Panther. So
Mm.
who we keeping? This is gonna get
Um,
interesting, bro. Because there's, I would keep all these movies, man.
um, I think after talking about Civil War, I got to make that as a keep. After my reasoning for cutting Black Panther is I didn't stack up to Civil War in my opinion. And that's I'd keep Civil War for that, as well as I thought it was cool. I thought it was portrayed well in the sense of like how it was in the lineage of the comics. So that was interesting from someone who's more of a Marvel fan from the comics rather than
Right.
kind of from the movies. So yeah.
I have to go back and watch that because, to be honest, Civil War came out when Marvel, to me, started to lose its like luster. Like I was just so tired of Marvel at this point. I don't even think I watched it all the way through. I don't think I've seen it all the way through, and I've watched plenty of these rankings. I've seen people put Civil War when you go like rank Marvel movies in order of I mean I've seen this movie in the top 5 for people. So I'm like, okay, what am I missing? I must be missing something. But
Yeah, I mean, I just really enjoyed Civil War. It's
okay.
good. Everything about it was good, in my opinion. Oh boy, so this is where things get a little weird, huh?
Yeah, so we've got left Infinity War, OG Avengers, Endgame, and Iron Man. And you can only keep 2 of those. You got 2 picks left, dude. Oh,
I think so. This is a keep, right? Or the next one, or is it a cut? Is it a cut?
no, you just kept Civil War.
Okay, so I have to cut something.
Somebody's out of here, bro.
I have to cut one of the Avengers movies then, in my opinion. I think
I completely agree.
I'm gonna
And
cut Avengers Assemble. This will be my next cut.
the
That's
OG.
that's not something I enjoy cutting.
No, well, at
But
least the
the
yeah.
reasoning again is like when you look at Endgame or Infinity War, for example. I think the writing just really hit like a peak on like those later Avengers movies. Like I thought it just had really good writing. That's like my main line of thinking for a lot of this is like how was it written, like what was the pacing of it like, and how accurate was it to the comics, and those were closer to those elements for me, so that's why I'd keep or cut that.
The only thing about the OG Avengers that I wish I can get over again was just seeing. I wish I can watch again and feel again was just seeing all those characters together. Because then they're always together. But that was like the first real glimpse of the Avengers, and it's like, this is fucking cool. But I agree. Out of the three of those, I'd cut the OG one too because it just kept getting better. And Endgame, I think I've watched the end of Endgame on YouTube dozens of times.
Yeah.
I like watching crowd reactions to that shit too. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god.
Well,
Okay.
that's a hard cut, right? And the reasoning again for that is like nothing against the movie. I liked the movie. I saw it in theater actually,
Better.
but it's just as time goes on, the series evolved in a positive way. So,
this is it. This is it.
This is where things are gonna get kind of make or break.
One more keep, and you've got Endgame, Infinity War, and Iron Man. Right? Am I right? So you've kept Winter Soldier. No, you kept Civil War. Sorry, you haven't touched Winter Soldier yet, have you?
No.
You've kept Civil War. You've kept Spider-Man. You've kept Guardians. And that's it.
I cut Avengers Assemble just now.
Yeah, but you've kept 3, so you have to keep one now.
Oh, man.
I think more keeps, man.
I mean, I think I should just make it easy on myself and keep Endgame. I'm just gonna go ahead and just make it easy on myself.
You can't go wrong there, bro. Give yourself the hard choice last.
yeah, for sure. With Endgame, again, like I explained earlier, I think that's like really the peak of like the whole series. I mean, obviously that was the intention, right? Is that's kind of like more of the end of that whole thing. But I mean, it really was a peak. They did a great job kind of like leading things up to that point in the story. And I think they capitalized well on a lot of different elements they had built up.
Amazing movie, man. To me, like every movie I've seen across all genres is top 10 for me. I think though, because it just wraps up so much. I mean, man.
I think it wrapped things up nicely. It was pretty clean overall.
I wish it would have fought a bit more at the end, but it was just enough to like satisfy everybody. But
I think everyone would have been happy if it would have been like a 10-hour movie with 7 hours of combat.
Just get after it, bro. Where the whole thing's just action. Oh man, like John Wick style, bro. You got 10 minutes of like, hey, how you doing? I'm John Wick, and then it's 2 hours of murder.
I mean, yeah, they could have expanded for sure. There was things they could have done further that the comics did that they didn't. But I mean, there's only so much you can fit into a movie, especially with like a budget limitation. Yeah. That's probably what it really boils down to.
For them. There's no budget for them.
It's like how much time do we have? What can we fit into this movie? And yeah,
you're never the guy to take the fall, huh? Are you, Tony? You're never the guy to make the sacrifice play.
Yeah, and that's going to be an interesting lead into my next cut, which is going to be Iron Man.
No. The OG movie to start all Marvel movies.
Yeah,
because you can argue Incredible Hulk, but Iron Man is
this is less against the movie and more against my personal viewpoint of Tony Stark. He's just such a fucking dick, right? And it's like that's how he is in the comics. I mean, it's just the character trope, It is what it is. Yeah. And it's like it makes it harder to love him, right? And it's by design. It's like it makes you're confronted with this choice. It's like, okay, well, this guy's Iron Man, right? And he like helps save the world and shit. But at the same time, he's a fucking dick, And it draws like parallels to people in the real world. I'm not gonna name names, but people have a lot of power and stature. kind of shows that just because
So
yeah, that
you
an
equate
asshole.
Tony Hawk. I mean, not Tony Hawk. You equate Iron Man,
Yeah, fuck
Tony
you, Tony
Stark,
Hawk.
Tony Stark to like the man, like the big brother, the fucking dude. Represents all of what's wrong with society.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of what the comic wants you to think too. Is
Oh yeah,
it puts you in that headspace of like this is kind of what that person's like in real life, but also this is like if that person was a superhero. Also,
yeah.
you're like,
Just like what they did to Thanos, bro.
and
Everybody hates Thanos.
and what kills me the most about cutting this movie is I think this movie did such a good job walking that line with those things of like,
Fantastic.
hey, this guy's rich, he's a fucking dick. Like the media kind of hated the guy, but then hey, Iron Man,
He got blown up with his own freaking rocket.
yeah,
He
I
got
think
blown
that
up by his own ordnance, bro.
some of the scenes in that movie are iconic too. Just
I
like
mean,
the whole opening sequence of that movie is pretty iconic.
yeah, I love Iron Man the movie. I think we all hate Tony Stark.
Yeah,
all the way through until the end, where we're like, damn, okay, this guy's, and that's Marvel, bro. Like that's the way they fucking portray. They let us the whole time, and put the glove on this motherfucker at the end, and left the choice up to him, the biggest asshole of the Avengers, and he made the right choice. And that's anyway. That's a full circle moment for Marvel, bro. That's awesome. Okay, Iron Man is out. Hard disagree. However, I respect your opinion, buddy. But damn, now.
this shit's hard, especially when you're on the spot, bro. Like,
Oh yeah, no, that's why I want you to go first, bro. Fuck that. So you've cut Iron Man, you've cut Black Panther, you've cut Thor Ragnarok, and you've cut the OG Avengers. What's left? This is it. The final.
So this comes
Final
down to
this comes down to Infinity War
Winter Soldier.
and Winter Soldier. And to me, easy choice. But in which direction?
So you can look at this from two ways, and this is the way I'm gonna look at this.
What's your choice, bro? Freedom. See that?
This is America after all, right? This is American
choice, bro.
podcast right here.
Right here, brother.
I'm gonna go Infinity War for the keep. I think that's a safe keep. I saw both of these movies in theaters. My line of thinking for Winter Soldier is kind of more like this. I think, forget his fucking name. Like Bucky, right? The guy who
Bucky, the arm.
Yeah. Bucky seems just kind of like a fucking whiny crybaby throughout the whole movie, in my opinion. I mean, it's just kind of how I look at the. Yeah, they kind of did him dirty. And I think that's more of why that doesn't make a keep, is just because of like, I think that it could have had a lot more potential if they would have written the character in better. Like it could have been such a better movie. And it's not to say I dislike seeing it in theaters. I just, when I compare it to some of the other movies on the list, it just doesn't make the cut.
I think the problem is too is that Marvel knew they had to have filler movies.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. That's what
Captain America: Winter Soldier is a filler movie for sure.
Yeah,
it's a filler movie. Like Thor Ragnarok, it's a filler.
That's an easy cut, just because like a filler movie isn't gonna live up to like Infinity War or Endgame or something like that. The hard cuts for me were Iron Man was the hardest one, I think, for sure. I was kind of looking at that and I'm like, man, I kind of backed myself into a corner here because it's like these are all amazing movies, but that's what you get with a list like this. So
yeah, so Mirk's picks, man. You've got Guardians. You've got both Infinity War and Endgame. You've got Civil War. And what was your other keep?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yep. See, what would have made it even like exponentially harder is if you would have put multiple of the new Spider-Man movies on here. I would have been so fucked.
There was one. Boring. Well, I wanted to have it with a variety. I almost didn't choose this one because it's got all three Avengers movies in it, which I wasn't kind of keen on. I'd rather them throw in like I don't know, anything, like any movie, just to kind of fill the gaps a little bit. But for me, man, my five were drastically different. I would have kept Iron Man, I would have kept Black Panther, I would have kept Guardians, and I would have kept Endgame and Infinity War. But I think See, like I've never been a big Captain America fan, so when I see this list, I go, I'm cutting both those
Let's
because
see, yeah, I'm the same way. I think he's like too goody two shoes of a superhero. You know what I mean? I
that's
like him to
American badass.
he kind of have like a little bit of edge, which is kind of funny that I cut Iron Man because that's like the epitome of like a hero having like a we're being like an anti-hero in a lot of ways.
Right. Okay, guys, let us know what you would have kept and if Merc did good or did you butcher this fucking list.
To be honest, I just went off this off of my personal experiences
I
seeing
think
all
I
these
think there's
movies.
no right or wrong answer when you're cutting 5 and keeping 5. That's brutal, man. It's not like keep 8 and cut 2. This is like half these movies got to go, and we're talking forever.
Yeah, and honestly, the only movie on this whole list that I cut that I actually didn't really enjoy was Thor Ragnarok. That was the only one that I didn't really care that much for.
Yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, and I look when I saw it in theaters, man, I loved the Hulk and Thor like meeting in the middle of the
Yeah.
arena and Thor being like, "Oh, I know that guy. That's my friend. What's up?" And then get his ass kicked. And that's like, but then I get pissed because they turned Thor into a comedian, bro. He's Kevin Hart. You know, every
Yeah.
Thor movie is a comedy, every single one. And of all the characters, he should be the least comedic. He's a fucking god.
Yeah, should be the most serious out of all
He's
of
a
them.
god on a planet full of flesh stacks that he could destroy the entire planet. But instead, he's a comedian. Anyway, guys, let us know how we did. I think Merc, I think he did good. I just disagree with Iron Man, but no, this is gonna be perfect. Listen, thank you guys, whoever's watching. We definitely appreciate you. We're trying to keep this thing rolling, man. Episode 7. That means this is now officially habitual.
It is habitual.
You'll be seeing these fucking faces more often than you'd like. So might as well go ahead and like, might as well go and subscribe, might as well go pull us up on your drive to work, listen to what the bullshit we're talking about. Because episode 8, I think we're going to continue the Marvel talk with a little bit of I don't know. Why do you think Thanos was probably right? Was he wrong? The way we're looking at the world now, I don't know. I might have snapped my shit too. All right. Thank you guys. Merc, catch you on the next one, brother.
And much love, guys. Thank you for stopping by.
Later, guys.